West Florida connects.
That's what it looks like when a team gets an improbable berth into the NCAA Division II football playoffs. The Argos are Wingate bound for a first-round matchup as the 6th seed. Part of an insane 10-0 week for Argo athletics. We break it down this week on the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network. Welcome in to the Coach Shinnick Show as we talk about playoff football with head coach Pete Shinnick. I'm Tommy Thrall. How about that? The playoffs. What a wild weekend, huh?
No, what a great weekend for UWF football. Really proud of my guys and just how they played. Great game plan by our coaches. A lot of fun stuff took place in the last 48 hours of our season.
No doubt. Well, you guys are celebrating the season. You're at your end of the season banquet. Turns out it was the end of the regular season banquet. You guys were able to watch the selection show there. Talk about what that experience was like, having everybody there.
Well, that was the plan. It was kind of the vision that we had of just a way to celebrate the season, but also kick off the next postseason. And so when we organized the banquet, let's set it up Sunday right around the selection show, and let's have some fun with it. And if we made it, which we did, it'd be a great celebration, a great story to tell. If we didn't, then we could talk about, what a great season we had and what we need to do better in 2018. But 2017 gets to continue for us.
Certainly a fun year. Well, let's take a look at how you got there as we take a glance at the highlights. And you knew it was going to be a dogfight against West Georgia, and they came out, kind of punched you right in the mouth, right out of the gate with this big 72-yard completion.
Great completion by them. Really good play design. Poor tackling by us. Really shouldn't have been a 72-yard play. At the most, maybe about a 40-yarder. But give them credit. They did a great job. This gave us a little life here, missing the extra point. That was huge. And then I just think you kind of saw how good this team can be. As we got them on a 3rd and short, and they break one for a touchdown.
Quickly 20 or 16-0, and then you started to see things go your way a little bit. The tackle for loss kind of tipped things in your favor defensively. And then Antoine Griffin just with this huge punt return, something he's really done a nice job of over the last few weeks.
No, last 3 weeks he's been fantastic, the best in the conference at returning kicks. You get a chance to see Anthony Johnson right here really set us up, get us down inside the 20. And then Mike Beaudry just really coming to age right there. Pump fake, hitting Karan Ashley for our first touchdown. And at that point in time, started to feel a little bit of the excitement that we had. And then Rodney Coates just took that excitement level to, beyond our wildest dreams right there. That was some great energy to go in at halftime.
And then you take another look at it here. It gets even better in slow motion. Got the feet down, then dropped it. Wow, what a catch. I mean, that was just a remarkable play. And then the defense just continued to swallow them up.
Now, what a great way, to start off the second half, get the turnover, and then really to see Mike just step up in the pocket, find 2 of their guys to bounce the ball off, and then get Austin Blake Smith his first touchdown. This one is one for the ages right here. Lot of favor in our direction right there.
That's not how you draw that up?
No, that is not even close to what we were trying to accomplish. Again, another great defensive stop. You see the energy on the sideline. You see our guys fired up. Mike going deep, probably one of his better deep balls here to Antoine Griffin. Great catch.
That's a catch I feel like it's not made a couple of weeks ago.
We weren't making that. Austin Williams just continues to be fantastic for us, whether it's kicking off, kicking field goals. He hits 2 in a row to keep us mounting the lead there. Very excited about what he's able to do.
Talk about that play call, wide open there in the flat.
Yeah, we've been running that thing all season long. We had a shot at it against Valdosta, but got some pressure. We changed how we did it. It's one that our guys, know. Our scout team covers that thing so well now. We got to tell them to stop. But we've been waiting for the right moment to get it done. And then nothing better than seeing a ball go out of the end zone here as we have more points than them. Great sideline celebration. Great locker room celebration.
What was going through your mind, as you wrap up that game, and by the way, great dance moves.
That's about as limited as I get right there. I was on a chair, but that's about as much space as I'd need on a dance. On a dance floor as well.
Good. Well, look great. Yeah. Given the circumstances, we'll allow it. At what point did you realize, okay, we've got a chance, or did you think going into it, watching the selection show, it's really going to be a long shot for us to make it?
You know, I really went both ways over the course of the last, 24 hours before the show. I mean, after we won, a lot of people were asking, hey, what's this mean? All that type of stuff. And I was just trying to enjoy the victory and just really proud of our guys for, the last 2 weeks just to come out and I think it was like 120-3 the last 2 games last year. And to be able to turn that around, come out with 2 victories, I was just really proud of those guys and just trying to, enjoy that. Woke up early Sunday morning and really had some time to think about it. And, I said, hey, I can see this thing going both ways. I mean, I got an argument both ways and out of our hands. And again, we've been blessed and feel very good about it.
It was a 16-0 start. Then all of a sudden the defense just kind of flipped and you allowed -2 yards of offense or on the ground. What changed? What adjustment did you guys make to make that big of a difference?
Yeah, I think Darian Doolin does a great job in the moment and also preparing. And he really had, a couple of those big plays. We had some guys out of position. We had some guys that needed to clean some things up. He made some subs. He, took some guys that hadn't played as much, put them in there so that he could show some of the guys who were making the mistakes what they needed to do. Just great adjustments by him and the rest of our defensive staff.
You guys were also able to get a lot of pressure on their quarterback.
Oh, that was fun to watch. I mean, when our guys are going, whether it's John Williamson, Dre, Martez Wheeler, Jonathan Coleman, I mean, those guys were just flying around. Trent Archie, bringing him from the outside a little bit. A lot of fun looks that we were able to put pressure on them.
No doubt. Well, it's been a fun season. It continues, and now we look ahead to Wingate coming up. Plus, we've got some awards to hand out. When we come back, more with Coach Pete. Plus, we rehash a wild weekend in Argo athletics. This is the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.
We will never settle for the kiddie pool. We are destined for the vast ocean of opportunities that await us. We were born to make a splash. At the University of West Florida, you can make a discovery, make a difference, make a splash. So take a deep breath and dive in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us, to bring us joy. A miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. To say it was a crazy week in Argo athletics would be a gross understatement. The Argos went 10-0 collectively among 6 different sports. We start with soccer. Joe Bartlinski's women's team picked up a pair of wins in Florence to advance the regional championship this Friday. First, they overcame a 2-0 halftime deficit to knock off the host school, North Alabama, 3-2 last Friday. 2 days later, they blanked Mississippi College 1-0 to exact revenge on a regular season loss to the Choctaws. Coach Bart, your thoughts?
Get the win was huge. First half, they took it to us. We scrapped our way back into the game in the second half, and some of our players individually stepped up big, but collectively we did a very good job.
Turning now to the very busy UWF Fieldhouse. Volleyball also swept the weekend with a pair of 3-0 wins over Lee Friday night and Shorter on Saturday. Then Monday, they were recognized by the GSC for their remarkable efforts during an undefeated GSC season. Headlining the accolades was head coach Melissa Walter, claiming her 4th Coach of the Year award. Logan Kale was recognized as the GSC Freshman of the Year. 5 of her teammates also took home all GSC awards. Women's basketball was on the road to open up the season. They got things started Friday night with an 80-67 win over Albany State. Saturday, they walloped Fort Valley State, 88-39. Haley Neiman owned the weekend with 39 points in the 2 games. That's an average of 19.5 points a game for those of you non-mathematicians. Stephanie Lawrence Yelton will discuss their strong start later on in the show. Switching to men's hoops, they got their season started as well at home with a couple of wins over Albany State, 77-68 Saturday, and Fort Valley State in overtime Sunday, 75-68. Daryl Tucker and Motir Dang both put up better than 30 points in the 2 games. Jeff Burkhammer will be along shortly to discuss. Even diving got in on the act with a 20-10 win on the road at Alabama, the SEC one. Not bad. Now we head back to the gridiron. In the words of our good friend Murphy Powell, it was a lit weekend among Argo Athletics, and of course your program very much a part of that. And now you turn your attention to Wingate. Obviously a big game coming up. You don't have to say that. It's an NCAA playoff game. But for you personally, you've topped your own record. The previous record for making it to the playoffs was the 3rd year of a program. You did that at UNC Pembroke. Now you've done it here in 2 years. For you personally, does that mean a little something to you? It's got to have a pretty soft spot in your heart, right?
Well, it's fun, and I mean, I think at some point in time, sit back and reflect on it, and see what that looks like. But I think it just speaks volumes to the University of West Florida and what we have here, and that was the exciting part of being able to come here. Joined a great institution, great university, great people, and felt like if we did things right, and obviously a lot of things had to fall in line at the right time in order for this to happen in season 2. I'm excited about it. Looking forward to the game, and probably somewhere in February might reflect on it a little bit and go, hey, that is pretty good.
That's pretty neat. Well,
that's nice.
Well, yeah, I guess you got football to get ready for right now. All conference awards were announced this week. 5 all conference players. Mike Beaudry, Freshman of the Year as well. Just kind of a reflection of how good the season was.
Oh no, great for our guys. Very excited for the guys that got these awards, and to have a couple first-team guys on there. Really pleased with that, and excited to just see our guys continue to get recognition, and would like to see a few more guys on there, but we'll take that year by year.
No doubt. John Williamson, Austin Williams were the first-team selections. Antoine Griffin, Samuel Antoine, and Trent Archie were the second-team selections. Now let's look ahead to Wingate. You've got a little history with those guys. You've seen them before, but boy, they're having a strong season this year. Their run attack looks really good.
Yeah, strong run attack, very physical football team up front, really doing a lot of things very well, holding the ball for a long time, keeping it out of the opponent's hands, and really defensively getting turnovers, getting sacks, tackles for losses. We've got our hands full in a team that went 9-1 and really went 9-0, and then struggled a little bit in their last game. But I love how my team's playing. And I love, just the confidence, the energy, the excitement that these guys have. Really looking forward to finishing this week out practice-wise, and then going up to North Carolina and, playing in the playoffs.
Well, it seems like you guys have had so much success. On a few occasions this year, we've talked about, okay, Florida Tech, their ground attack's really tough to stop. You shut them down. West Georgia, one of the best ground attacks in the conference, shut them down for 3 quarters. So you got to feel pretty good going into a game when you know that's their strength, because you guys have also done a good job in the passing game.
Oh no, I love what our defensive staff does on a weekly basis. I love the different looks that they have, and just the way they change up to keep people guessing as to where we're coming from. That's one of the exciting things about, the 3-man front. We're able to put people in different places, able to continue to, hopefully create a little confusion. And our guys are just tackling as well as they ever have. We saw a couple long plays where we missed some tackles, but overall, just our ability to get to the ball, get guys to the ground, that helps you when you play a team like Wingate.
Not only has Mike Beaudry grown up this year, but the receivers have really grown up around him. We're seeing catches made now over the last couple of weeks that weren't made early in the season, contested catches. It seems like your offense, the things you say about your defense, you mix up your looks, can also be said about the offense. So what challenges does Wingate present from a defensive standpoint?
Well, they're a very good run team. I think they're giving up less than 110 yards a game rushing. Very good in the box, very physical looking team and playing team. Mike's got to continue to grow and get better. And we left out of West Al and said, we just need a couple guys to make some plays. We just need a couple of wide receivers, offense. Mike, step up, and make some plays when they're needed. We've seen that the last 2 weeks. We're going to need that for the playoff game as well.
All right, Pete, good luck.
Thanks,
Go get a win, North Carolina. That is head coach Pete Shinnick. Basketball season is underway. We talk women's hoops with Coach Yelton next. It's the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.
We are not here to drift. We were born to move, to change, to jump in, dive deep, make waves, break through. We were born to splash. The University of West Florida is America's best university for making a splash. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
So hear me scream. I was too young to understand what it means. I couldn't wait till I could be 17. I thought he lied when he said take my time to dream. Now I wish I could freeze the time at 17.
1 in 3 teens who smoke will lose years of these moments. It's your life. Don't miss a thing.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
We will never settle for the kiddie pool. We are destined for the vast ocean of opportunities that await us. We were born to make a splash. At the University of West Florida, you can make a discovery, make a difference, make a splash. So take a deep breath and dive in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
Welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. We switch gears to basketball, and we start on the women's side as we welcome in Stephanie Lawrence Yelton, women's head basketball coach, coming off a great season last year. Now you guys are underway. A couple of good road wins for you guys over the weekend.
Oh, it was great getting our team on the road, playing some non-conference opponents, playing teams that are in our region, and then coming back with that 2-0 record is great.
Well, you guys got off to a good start on Friday, picked up a big win, and then you bounced back on Saturday and just walloped what was Albany State and Fort Valley over the weekend.
Yeah, you know, we had great production from our team. I was pleasantly surprised with our offensive production, scoring in the 80s in both of those games. I wasn't ready for our team to do that. I was pleasantly surprised with that. Again, our defense was very good over the weekend. We held both those teams to 28% from the floor, 21% from the three-point line. So again, a great defensive effort and just good across the board.
Well, obviously, one of the big concerns, the defense is certainly good. You've seen that over the last couple of years. That's really kind of turned into the identity of this team. But then you've had such good point guard play with Alex Coyne now on the coaching staff this year. How do you fill that void?
Well, right now, Jay Davis is stepping into that starting position from our point guard position. She's a senior in our program. She's been here for 3 years already and excited about that position. We have two other guards that are playing really good minutes for us right now, too. Antoinette Williams, who's a junior college transfer, and then Faith Franklin, who's just a sophomore in our program. So we have three guards we feel very confident about. All three are very good pressure defensive guards. And then offensively, they're coming around. So it's good. I'm excited about what we're going to see in that position.
I know we've talked about it before, getting ready for the season, leading up to it. How do you build on the Elite Eight run last year? But that's just kind of getting it started. That's knocking on the door of where you guys want to be. How do you take the next step this year?
Well, the big thing we keep telling our players is that, it's like driving a car. We can't drive our car and go forward in the direction we want to go in if we're always looking in that rearview mirror and looking back at last season. Now, yes, we want to celebrate that season, and yes, we want to take the good things from that season, continue to grow on them, but we've got to stay focused about this new team and the new elements that we bring to the table. And we've got some good stuff to celebrate with this team.
Talk about some of the new pieces of this team, because there's a lot of youth on this team, but there's a nice mix of experience, and you've also got a lot of depth this year, it seems like, bringing in a lot of transfers.
We do. The one pleasant surprise right now is Haley Neiman. She's a transfer player from Saginaw Valley State. She was the Freshman of the Year 2 years ago in the GLIAC conference, and just has come out on fire these past two games. Courtney Meyer, who was a tremendous asset on defense for us last year, has now come into her own on the offensive end of the court. She averaged a double-double in both those games this weekend. Imani Mulmer is in that starting role right now. She's playing tremendous basketball. Shami Goodman, who is a senior in our program this year, is playing great basketball right now and really shooting the ball well. And I just think we've got a lot of good things going on. Well,
you've got a couple of big region games now this week. These region games are pretty important. I know everybody kind of looks at the early season games and think, well, you can get away with some losses. It's still very important.
No, these are very important. Region games come into conversation at the end of the season when you've put yourself in a position to be in the conversation about the region tournament and making it to the NCAA tournament. So if you're not fortunate, obviously, to win the conference tournament, you want your name in that top 2 and 3 and 4 spot in our region. And the way to get it there is to beat region teams. So I think we've got a good schedule. I think we're playing some good teams. And, we'll see what the outcome will be.
And, of course, Columbus State coming up this week, so it should be a big one. And an Elite Eight team a year ago.
Yes, they were in that same spot with us in the Elite Eight in Columbus, Ohio. We would have been matched up with them if both of our teams would have won on that first night.
Wow.
So this will be a fun road trip to go up and see their spot. They have a great coach. They have a really good team, and I expect our team to play really well.
All right, well, good luck. Have some fun. Go get you a win.
Thank you.
All right. That is Stephanie Lauren Shelton joining us today on the Coach Shinnick Show. Jeff Burkhammer's along to talk men's hoops next.
The world is our ocean, and we are here to make a splash, to dive deep, to create, to develop, to break through. At the University of West Florida, there's no limit to how you can make a splash. Don't just sit on shore, jump in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please donate now to help people affected by Hurricane Irma. Your support is urgently needed.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay. Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back. Well, we change gears now to men's basketball as we welcome in Argo men's basketball coach Jeff Burkhammer. Coach, thanks for being on with us. Great to start the season 2-0.
Great to get going. Glad to be 2-0 and glad the season's finally here.
Well, those 2 games to open the season kind of gave you some trouble. Albany State probably gave you all you could ask for and more to get it started, but it's good to face early tests like that.
Well, we've played these guys the last couple years in the SIAC Challenge, and all of our games have been just like this. They've been very tough, competitive, hard-fought games against 2 teams that give you some problems. So they were 2 games that were good for us early.
And then you face Fort Valley State, kind of open up a big lead. They come back, forced overtime, but then you guys kind of pulled away in overtime.
Yeah, we seem to like overtime. You know, last year we played 6 of them, 5 of them. We've won the last 4, so that's been good. Guys are starting to feel like we can win in overtime, believing in that. But we didn't close out the game quite the way we should have, and that was a little bit disappointing, but we found a way to win. That's the positive.
Never really felt like that was, going to slip away. I mean, even though they tied it, they forced overtime, it still felt, as crazy as it may sound, that you guys were in control. They had some of their key guys in foul trouble. As far as your side was concerned, we didn't really have anybody in foul trouble. Right. Their guys looked like they were wearing down, and then that's when you pulled away in overtime. But there is kind of a key to winning in that situation.
Well, I thought the key in the overtime for us there was making free throws. We were 9 of 12 in the overtime period. We didn't shoot free throws well in the second half, and then when it was crunch time in overtime, guys stepped up and made them, and that's a big thing. We had 2 great stops to get them in position to where they had to foul, and then we were able to win the game going away.
There were certainly some things you liked because you get 2 wins, but there were also some things you want to see cleaned up. You didn't feel like you guys have played your best basketball yet, which is good. You shouldn't yet, but there's certainly some things that you want to see worked on and improved moving forward. What were some of those things?
Well, I think taking care of the ball was a big thing. We didn't take care of it like we have in the past. Our press breakers weren't real sharp. Late in the game, things that we've worked on every day with veteran guys, that was a little bit disappointing, but we can clean those things up. And the thing I told them in film was the things that we didn't do well, we can make the corrections and do better. So we watched film, and in the last couple of days, I think our practice has been better.
You're still waiting for some of those guys that have transferred in to really catch on. Last year, remember Marvin Jones kind of got off to that slow start, and then he really took fire after the break. Is that common with guys that transfer in?
Well, I think you'll see that. Guys getting comfortable with what we're doing, how we do it, the level of play. I think all those things come into play with game situations. And, Cameron Cox is a freshman. Tidwell is the first game out. So some of those guys, it's going to take them a few games to get there, but that's where your veterans and your seniors have to lead you.
And 2 guys that certainly led you over the weekend, Motir Dang and Daryl Tucker, really off to strong starts.
Both guys are guys we're counting on this year to have big games and a good year. And Daryl played well in both games. We're bringing him off the bench. He's more comfortable doing that. We keep him out of foul trouble early, so that's worked out well. And then Motir's been a consistent guy. He's given us good numbers and good minutes just about every time out.
Talking with you guys and your staff in the preseason, one of the guys you kept talking about was Motir and how much he's grown, and he's more confident now. It really seems like he's grown up a lot.
Well, he's really matured. I think he's kind of grown into his game. He had a good summer. He worked all summer, stayed here, and really worked on his game, has gotten better. And yeah, he's playing with a lot more confidence than when he first got here.
A couple of big games this week in the region against Miles.
Yeah, Miles is a team that causes you problems. We will have to do a great job keeping the ball in front of us, taking away transition, and then getting out to their shooters. And then on the other end, taking care of the ball against their quickness. They do a great job getting hands on balls. And It'll be another good challenge. A couple more region games. We need to find a way to win at home.
All right, sounds good. Next time we talk, hopefully we're looking at a 4-0 season.
That'd be great.
All right, that is Argonaut basketball coach Jeff Berkhammer. It's going to be a busy weekend for the Argos. Swimming and diving are both in action this week, plus women's soccer plays for a regional final on Friday. Both basketball is player of the weekend as well. Volleyball is hosting the GSC tournament, and football is on the road at Wingate in the first round of the Division II playoffs. You can keep up to date with everything at GoArgos.com. Also, a change this week in the football broadcast. This week's game will air on 97.1 The Ticket, beginning with the pregame show at 11:30, followed by the noon kickoff. That's all the time we have for today. My thanks to Jeff, Stephanie, and Coach Pete. I'm Tommy Thrall. Thanks for watching. So long.